Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the channel. I am Dean the Turkey Likester. This stream that you're watching is Storyland. It's my weekly Thursday night stream where I come to you and I read some fun stories. And I'm so happy to be back with you during the Christmas season. I am going live just a little bit earlier than I normally do. Reason being for that is that there is a live stream going on about 8, I think, or 8:15 tonight. The Hitchhiking Bones. Dawn will be live for watching Yeehaw Bob from the Port Orleans Resort in Walt Disney World. So I'm gonna want to go over there and watch that at 8:15, and so I moved this stream a little earlier. So welcome in. This is Storyland, and if you're watching this on the replay and you're kind of wondering, okay, did he go live, early? Did he not go live? I did go live on, this is Thursday, the 11th of December, 2025, and I'm excited to read some stories. Hello to Gloria Thibodeau, Tina McNeil, hello, and Chuck, welcome in. Great to have you. Jennifer Caruso, hello. Um, Great to see you in the chat. Um, so yeah, um, hope you all are having a great week. I was at Magic Kingdom yesterday. I had a live stream on the channel, and it was a good visit there. Went there with my mom. I met up with Dawn of the Hitchhiking Bones. We got to hang out for a couple hours there yesterday, and that was a lot of fun. And so it's always good to meet up with friends. I'm going to be down at Disney Springs Saturday morning. Just meet up with some more friends. I'm also doing a live stream Saturday morning around 9:15, 9:30. I'm going to go for about an hour strolling around Disney Springs just for a little bit before I go to join that meetup. Robin, I Heart Disney, welcome in. So, yeah. And also, speaking of stories, this Storyland is my story stream. I'll get going on the stories very soon. Um, I am starting each morning. The series is ongoing. My Peanuts Countdown to Christmas. And I will be live 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. And then I'm not sure about Saturday if I need to go. I might be at 7:30 Saturday morning. Anyway, I gotta decide on that. But I'm enjoying the countdown series, and I hope you'll, if you haven't already, uh, checked out that series each morning or each day on the replay. Hopefully, you will make plans to check out that countdown series, counting down all the way to Christmas Day with the Peanuts gang. Jason Thibodeau, hello, welcome in. All right, guys, we're here to read stories. So, our first story on the stream tonight is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Adapted by Rick Bunson. Illustrated by Arcadia. Christmastown, also known as the North Pole, is the wonderful place where Santa Claus lives with Mrs. Claus, all the elves, and the flying reindeer that pull Santa's sleigh every Christmas Eve. Nowadays, Christmas Town is a happy place. The elves make toys, the reindeer fly, but in the old days, everyone had to watch out for the abominable snowman monster. He was big and furry and hated anything having to do with Christmas. And he liked to eat reindeer. Hmm. All that started to change when Santa's lead reindeer, Donner, became a papa. "We'll call him Rudolph," said Donner, looking at his new son. Suddenly, Donner and Mrs. Donner saw a bright light. "He's got a shiny red nose," said Donner in surprise. "I'd even say it glows." Santa came to see the new arrival, but then he saw Rudolph's nose. "Let's hope this glowing stops if Rudolph wants to make the sleigh team," Santa said. "We can't have any shiny noses flying through the sky." So the Donners put a little cover on Rudolph's nose. Hmm. Soon it was time for the new fawns to go to the reindeer games. There they would be inspected by Santa, who would choose the best reindeer for his team. At first, Rudolph felt shy, but soon he met a doe named Clarice. "I think you're cute," she told Rudolph. The coach arrived to teach the fawns what they needed to know to be on Santa's team. "First, we'll learn to fly," he told them. "You get up enough speed and jump into the wind." Ru- Oops, I'm getting a spinny on my screen. Okay, is the stream okay, guys? I just got a blank on my camera. Looks okay now. It looks okay. Okay, so Rudolph was so excited about his new friend that he took off with a great whoosh. He soared high over the heads of the reindeer and Santa too. Oh, good. Okay. But as all the young reindeer continued to play, the cover popped off Rudolph's nose. It glowed for all to see. At first, the other deer were frightened, but soon they began to laugh and call poor Rudolph names. "Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer," they jeered, and the coach said, "Go on home. From now on, you can't join in any reindeer games." Only Clarice didn't laugh at Rudolph. Da 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 da. Poor Rudolph wandered off alone. Soon he met an elf who was hiding in the woods. "My name is Hermie," said the elf. "I want to be a dentist, but right now I'm just an elf who doesn't belong. And I'm a red-nosed reindeer, sighed Rudolph. The pair decided to be friends and to run away together. They hadn't wandered far when they heard the terrible roaring of the abominable snow monster. It's my nose, said Rudolph. The monster sees it and is coming after us. Oh no, what are we going to do? Let's turn the page and find out. Ha ha. Rudolph and Hermie were saved by Yukon Cornelius. Cornelius, and we'll run like crazy. But no matter how fast they went, the monster stayed close behind. Finally, they were trapped at the water's edge. Cornelius chopped the ice with his axe, and the friends floated safely away. Jonathan, welcome in. Hello. Yeah, Yukon, I guess so. I guess so. They floated all night and landed on a strange island, where they were greeted by a puppet that sprang from a box. I'm the official sentry of the island of misfit toys, said the puppet. My name is Charlie, and that's why I'm a misfit toy. No child wants to play with a Charlie in the box. Hmm. We want to travel with Santa Claus in his magic sleigh, said a misfit doll. Otherwise, we'll miss all the fun with the boys and girls when Christmas Day arrives. The friends met an elephant with polka dots, a choo-choo train with square wheels, a water pistol that shot jelly, a bird that swam, a cowboy riding an ostrich, and a boat that couldn't float. We're misfits too, said Rudolph. Maybe we could stay here with you. Hello, Kendrick. Welcome in. Happy Thursday. Welcome in. But the king of the island would let them stay for only one night. This island is for toys alone, he said. A living creature cannot hide here. But you can help us. When you return to Christmas Town, tell Santa about these homeless toys. I'm sure he can find girls and boys who would be happy with them. A toy is never happy till it's loved by a child. That night, while Hermie and Cornelia slept, Rudolph lay awake. My nose will only bring my friends more danger, he thought. I must go off on my own. But as he wandered alone in the snow, Rudolph realized that he couldn't run away from his troubles. Hmm, that's true. Rudolph returned to the mainland and headed for Christmas Town. But first, he had to pass the cave of the abominable snow monster. As he did, Rudolph heard voices crying, Help! Help! Rudolph rushed inside. There were Rudolph's parents and Clarice. They had been searching for Rudolph and had been caught by the monster who was about to devour Clarice. Ah! Put her down, Rudolph cried, butting the surprised monster with his little antlers. Oh, there we go. Do 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 do. Dun, 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 dun. Just then, Hermie and Cornelius pulled up outside the cave. They had followed Rudolph's trail and knew he needed help. An abominable snow monster will never pass up a pork dinner, said Cornelius. Hermie, you sit outside the cave and oink like a pig. When the monster comes outside, watch out! Hermie approached the mouth of the cave. Oink, oink, he called. The monster dropped Clarice and rushed outside. At that moment, Cornelius pushed a giant snowball down on top of him. Splat! Working quickly while the monster was stunned, Hermie used his dentist tools to remove the monster's teeth. Wow. Back in Christmas Town, Rudolph told how he and his friends had defeated the abominable snow monster. Everyone realized that misfits have their place too. Rudolph told Santa about the misfit toys. As soon as the storm lets up, I'll find toys for them, Santa promised. Then the weather elf handed Santa his report. Santa gasped, "The storm won't subside by tonight. I won't be able to see to fly my sleigh." Suddenly, a flash of light caught Santa's eye. "Rudolph," he said, "what a wonderful, beautiful, wonderful nose! Won't you guide my sleigh tonight?" "I'd be honored to," said Rudolph, putting on his jingle bells. Do 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 da 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 da. "Okay, Rudolph," said Santa. "First stop is the island of misfit toys. Up, up, and away!" And with Rudolph leading the way, Santa soon found loving homes for all those lonely toys. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, everyone sang, "You'll go down in history." And he did. And that is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, our first story on the stream tonight. Da, 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 da. And that's our first story. Hope you enjoy that. Now, for the first time ever on the channel, this is a book that I got last year. It was right after the start of the new year, I think, or it was after I was done doing Christmas streams last year, but I discovered that this book was a thing, and I got it. This is The Magic Journey which is the movie storybook for the Polar Express. So I'm going to read it. So here we go. The Magic Journey, the Polar Express, adapted by Tracy West, based on the motion picture screenplay by Robert Zemeckis and William Broyles Jr., based on the book The Polar Express, written and illustrated by Chris Van Allsburg, designed by Doyle Partners. Years ago, on a snowy Christmas Eve, a boy lay quietly in bed. He was waiting for the jingle of Santa's sleigh bells on the roof. He wanted to believe that Santa was real, but deep down, he just wasn't certain. If he heard the sound of sleigh bells and saw Santa, then he would be sure, but only then. The boy finally drifted off to sleep, and then a bell rang out. The boy sat up in bed and looked at his clock. It was exactly 11:55. Suddenly, the whole house began to shake. A blinding light poured through the window, and a thunderous roar filled the air. The boy quickly put on his robe and slippers. He ran outside to see what was causing the commotion. Was it Santa? As the steam cleared, the boy saw a huge train sitting in front of his house. A conductor stepped out of a passenger car. "All aboard!" he cried. "All aboard the Polar Express, bound for the North Pole!" The boy hesitated. The North Pole? Could it really be true? There was only one way to find out. He climbed aboard. Excited children crowded the car. As the train lurched ahead, the boy met two other passengers, a girl and a boy who seemed to know everything. "This train is a Baldwin 284S3 class Berkshire type steam locomotive, Know-it-all announced. "It's a magic train," the girl said. "We're going to the North Pole." As the train pulled out of the boys' neighborhood, the conductor came around to collect their tickets. To his surprise, the boy found one in his pocket. The conductor punched it, and when the boy looked at it, he saw that the conductor's punches had formed the letters B and E. Now, that was strange. Hmm. At the next stop, the train paused in front of a sad-looking house with a lonely-looking boy out front. The boy watched as the conductor stepped out to talk to the lonely boy. The conductor asked the lonely boy if he wanted to come aboard, but the boy shook his head no. The conductor sighed and got back on the train, and the wheels began to move. Through the window, the boy could see that the lonely boy had changed his mind. He ran toward the train, trying to catch up. The boy wanted to help the lonely boy. "Stop the train!" he yelled. But nobody heard him. So the boy did a bold thing. He pulled the emergency brake. The train screeched to a halt. The lonely boy jumped on the train, but went to sit in the observation car all by himself. When the conductor found out what had happened, he forgave the boy for pulling the brake and ordered the waiters to bring hot chocolate. To everybody. The conductor and the girl decided to bring some to the lonely boy. The boy saw that the girl had left her ticket behind, and it hadn't been punched yet. He ran between the cars to give it to her, but the wind whisked it out of his hand. The boy felt terrible. The conductor looked grave when he found out. The boy felt terrible. Sorry. The conductor looked grave when he found out that the ticket had been lost. "You'll have to come with me, young lady," he told the girl. And then there's a lonely boy in the back car. "He'll probably throw her off the train," said Know-it-all. The boy knew he had to save the girl, so he went to pull the emergency brake again. But just then he spotted the girl's ticket. The wind had blown it right back into the train. Now he just had to get it back to his owner. The lonely boy told him that the conductor had taken the girl to the roof. So the boy climbed up. It was snowing hard. The boy looked for the girl, but instead found a hobo sitting in front of a roaring fire. "I am the king of the North Pole," the hobo said. The hobo put on his skis, hoisted the boy onto his shoulders, and started to ski across the snowy roof of the train. The boy could barely see in the blizzard. "We need to hurry," the hobo yelled. "We have to get to the engine before we reach Flat Top Tunnel." Oh no, they're going. They jumped from car to car as the tunnel got closer and closer. It looked as if they weren't going to make it when the king yelled, "Jump!" The boy jumped and landed in the coal bin just in time, but the king had vanished. The boy crawled through the coal and came out into the locomotive cab. There, the girl was sitting on the engineer's bench. She hadn't been thrown off the train after all. "They put me in charge," the girl announced happily. "You can help too. Blow the whistle for me." The boy tugged the cord and the train whistle sang out. "I wanted to do that my whole life," the boy shouted. The boy looked out the window and saw two strange men. They were changing the bulb in the headlamp on the front of the engine. "That's Steamer the engineer and Smokey the fireman," the girl whispered to the boy. "They showed me how to drive the train." Suddenly the steamer yelled out, Stop the train! Stop! Ahead of the train was a massive herd of Arctic caribou crossing the tracks. The girl pulled the brake just in time. When it was safe to keep going, the train charged ahead, but then a pin came loose from the brakes. Here's the train in front of the caribou. Caribou! The train raced up and down the hilly track like a car on a roller coaster ride until Steamer and Smoky fixed the brake and bringing the wild ride to a safe end. The conductor and the children climbed back on top of the train, and the boy gave the conductor the girl's ticket. The conductor punched two letters in it, L and E. Then he led them back to the passenger car. The boy and girl went looking for the lonely boy and found him at the rear platform of the observation car. He was softly singing a song. I guess that Santa's busy 'cause he never comes around. The boy and girl realized why the lonely boy was so sad and lonely. He had never had a Christmas tree or even a Christmas present. Then the conductor called out to them, Look, you three, we've reached the North Pole. The North Pole. In the distance, the sparkling lights of North Pole City came into view. As they got closer, the boy could see that Christmas lights covered every building, every bridge, and every bridge. The tall clock tower read exactly 11:55. Where are the elves? The girl asked as the train came to a stop. They are gathering in the center of the city, where one of you children will receive the first gift of Christmas, answered the conductor. So everyone please exit the train and line up. There they are arriving at the North Pole. The North Pole. The boy and girl were at the end of the line and then realized that the lonely boy had not left the train. They ran to find him, but when they climbed onto the observation car, the boy accidentally hit a lever that disconnected the car from the rest of the train. The observation car raced backward at rapid speed. The boy tried to pull the brake, but it was too heavy. Then he felt a ghostly presence behind him, helping him stop the train. Was it the king? Before he could find out, the car stopped in a strange round room with 7 tunnel exits. Oh my. Which tunnel do we take? The boy asked. I hear a sleigh bell, the girl said, pointing to one of the tunnels. Let's take that one. I hear it too, said the lonely boy. The boy couldn't hear the bell at all, but he kept silent. He followed the two friends into the tunnel. The tunnel led them to the great gift sorting hall. One present whizzed by on the conveyor belt. The boy read the name and address out loud. Hey, the lonely boy said, his voice filled with excitement. That's my present. The lonely boy jumped on the conveyor belt to grab the present and disappeared right through a hole in the wall. Oh my. The girl and boy jumped onto the conveyor belt after him. On the other side of the wall, they all spilled out into a gigantic sack of gifts. Suddenly, the gift sack began to rise into the air. The boy looked up and saw that it was carried by a zeppelin driven by elves. Let's climb up, the girl cried. But the lonely boy would not leave the sack until he found his present. And there was another surprise for them, hidden in the pile of gifts. The know-it-all boy. I want to make sure I'm getting everything on my present, he said. Yeah. The Zeppelin sailed toward the town square. Soon it was time to descend. The elves let helium out of the Zeppelin, and it sank lower and lower. But it sank too low. The giant toy sack was about to crash into a Christmas tree. The elves had to act fast. Dozens of elves jumped from the Zeppelin using tiny parachutes, and that did the trick. The newly lightened Zeppelin lifted up again, clearing the top of the tree. It made a safe landing in the square. The boy and girl and know-it-all slid down to safety, but the lonely boy still refused to leave without his present. Ooh. Don't worry, a kindly elf told him. It's in good hands. The friends joined the crowd of children waiting for Santa. The sound of trumpets filled the air, and then the elves led 8 reindeer into the town square. Each of the reindeer wore a harness of bells that shook as it moved. Isn't that the most beautiful sound? The girl asked. But the boy couldn't hear the bells. Why can't I? He wondered. Then the elves sang out, Santa Claus is coming to town. He's here! I see him! Screamed the children. The boy couldn't see over the crowd. Was Santa really there? He felt awful. Now he would never get the proof he so desperately wanted. He would never truly believe. Suddenly, a bell flew off one of the harnesses. It soared through the air, and the boy caught it. He shook it, but heard nothing. The boy closed his eyes. Everyone else heard the bell. Why couldn't he? All at once he knew. They could hear the bell because they believed. The boy thought about his amazing journey to the North Pole, the rush and roar of the train, the kindness of the conductor, the song of the elves, the help of his new friends. All of those things were real. And if they were real, Santa must be too. I believe, the boy whispered. Ding-a-ling! The bell softly jingled, and the boy heard it. I believe, the boy said to himself more confidently. The bell rang again, louder this time, and the boy heard every joyous sound. He opened his eyes and saw Santa standing over him. What is that you said? Santa asked. I believe this is yours, the boy stammered and handed the bell back to Santa. Santa smiled. Why, thank you. Ho, ho, ho. Zippity doo dah. Hello, welcome in. Happy Thursday. It was time for Santa to choose the boy or girl who would receive the first gift of Christmas. He pointed right at the boy. Let's have this fellow right here, Santa said. The boy couldn't believe it. Santa asked him what he wanted, and the boy knew just the thing. He whispered in Santa's ear. Santa smiled and handed the sleigh bell to the boy. The first gift of Christmas! Santa cried. The boy put the bell in his pocket. Then he watched as Santa flew off in his sleigh. The conductor punched their tickets as they boarded the train again. He added more letters, and the children saw that this time they spelled out words. Know-it-all's ticket read learn. There is always more to learn, the conductor told him. The lonely boy's ticket was magical. The word on it kept changing. First it read depend. Then he turned it over, or when he turned it over, it read rely. Then he flipped it over again and it read count. The conductor said, because you can depend on, rely on, and count on your new friends. The girl's ticket read lead. I'd follow you anywhere, ma'am, the conductor said, smiling. The boy had a feeling about what word would be on his ticket, and he was right. Believe. As the train chugged away from the North Pole, the boy reached into his pocket to take out the bell. It was gone. His pocket had a hole in it. The boy felt terrible, but there was no time to look for his gift. The train reached its first stop quickly, the house of the lonely boy. This time the house didn't look so sad. A decorated Christmas tree twinkled in the front window. The lonely boy raced inside and came back out holding his present. Santa had delivered it after all. The boy's stop came next. He said goodbye to his new friends. As he stepped inside his house, he saw someone else waving to him from the roof of the train, the ghost of the hobo. The conductor then waved and yelled to the boy, "Merry Christmas!" The next morning, the boy raced out of bed as soon as he woke up. There were stacks of presents under the tree, including one special present with the boy's name on it. The boy unwrapped the box. The first thing he saw was a note. "Found this on the seat of my sleigh. Better fix that hole in your pocket, Mr. C." The boy smiled. A note from Santa. And underneath, silver and shining bright, was the sleigh bell. The boy gave the bell a shake. "Too bad," said his mom. "It's broken." The boy's parents couldn't hear the ring, but the boy and his sister could. They smiled at each other. And welcome in Amy, AJC Magic TV. Welcome in. When the boy grew up, he rang the bell every Christmas, and every Christmas he heard its beautiful sound because he never stopped believing. The bell still rings for him to this day, as it does for everyone who truly believes. And that is the end of our second and final story on Storyland tonight. That is The Magic's Journey, the story of the Polar Express. Hope you all have enjoyed those stories. Fun stories. I'll be back with Storyland next Thursday. More Christmas stories. And I'm not sure what I'm reading next. So you'll have to come back and we'll find out together. And yeah. Well, guys, that's going to do it for the stream tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I've enjoyed reading the stories tonight. And thank you to everybody in the live chat for coming in, popping in. Thank you to everyone watching on the replay. Again, if you're on the replay, make sure to leave a comment. Let me know that you were watching. I really appreciate you saying hi. Even just a hashtag team replay would be great. So with that, guys, have a gobbletastic evening. Merry Christmas, take care, and I'll be back with you next time here on Storyland or on another of my streams. But take care, guys. I'll see you next time.